talking about.
Yeah.
So you were saying about the government kind of forcing companies to put solutions in place. I believe Biden just signed something into place. I haven't gotten a chance to kind of look into it, but ultimately, huh?
What's up?
I think it was tied into the infrastructure bill, but what I ultimately think is going to happen down the line is that because I know this is what's being done in Europe,
Mm.
and they have a list of companies who've been, I think, who are on some kind of potential breach list, and
Yeah,
then
critical infrastructure.
yeah. So they have a list. If that company gets hit with some kind of breach, virus, malware, whatever, they're going to compare the company to their list, and then they're going to ultimately find the company. Like, hey, look, you knew you had this, you knew you had some kind of vulnerability in place. So what I think is going to happen eventually, I don't know when, but I think they're going to start doing that here in the US. Like certain companies, if you get breached, you're going to get fined because they're starting to look at, people's data as important. It's important. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your cell phone number, social security number, that's all sensitive information. So companies that don't have solution in place, I believe they're gonna kind of sign something into place where they're gonna start getting fined. And these are policemen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep on the money IT professional as if we're not that important that we cannot save them the money. That'd be
Yeah.
a long-term argument. Right?
Yeah.
That's a particular question. Have you pick on other your professional people in your career in other companies, even if they oversee what have they implement? That fall back to what you were talking about just now, because one, cybersecurity is not only the money-making situation right now we are talking in today, but it's also a vital issue, not only for corporations, but for regular people alike as well. Because you have all these cyber attacks going on, people taking identity and elude that. They get it. Well, how much money you get?
Yeah, man.
Yes. And to answer your question about fellow cybersecurity people, by having a YouTube channel, I've been speaking to a lot of people. I work with people in Australia, Canada, and some folks in Zambia in Southern Africa. And the one thing that I've seen that is consistent is cybersecurity is being taken seriously by larger organizations. Government entities are usually on that list because they're worried about other nation state actors. So you'll notice that it's mostly governments and larger organizations. Smaller companies are finally coming to that realization, but to be honest, they always look at, how much does it really cost us? And can we get away with it? And if they can, they don't actually do it, because if they're not that important and they don't think that their risk is high, they usually skip cybersecurity solutions in place, which is really not ideal, especially in this world that we live in, because we know attackers don't discriminate. If they can get on your computer to go to your customers, they will, which is what's happening.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into your education background. I see you have CCNP, CEH Masters, Network Plus. I have my Network Plus. I haven't updated it in so long, so I'm not really worried about getting it again. CISSP and your OSCP.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about. I want you to talk about a little bit about the your certifications, and then I want to talk about the OSCP just a little bit more.
Yeah. For me, getting certifications has always been my way to prove my worth. I don't usually go around town crying that, society owes me anything or people look down at me because I'm a certain way. But I've seen that by virtue of just showing up in the industry, looking slightly different. As you can see, I don't have the typical nerd look or feel. I use these certifications not only to learn a lot of material so that I can master my craft, but also to prove to people that I'm someone they should take seriously, because I've worked in environments where people don't take you seriously. You show up, you think you don't know what you're talking about. If you have one of the leading industry certifications like the OSCP, which is a 48-hour exam, 24-hour exam, and There's no way around that. It's a way to really prove to people that, hey, I'm here to do good work and I'm a serious person to work with. And they also tend to open a lot of doors, especially for people who otherwise don't come from a typical IT background and break into IT or cybersecurity.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So the OSCP, I've seen that certification pop around, but I've never gotten a chance to kind of look into it. So can you tell me more about this one?
Yes, the OSCP, that's the Offensive Security Certified Professional. It's a very, very widely respected certification, mostly because it's a hands-on exam. If you're interested in ethical hacking and breaking into computers, they will give you machines, say 4 or 6 machines. They give you 24 hours and say, hey, go at it. If you can break into these machines, you gain points, you get flags, and you write a report after that, like a pen testing report. And then you prove that you were actually able to do the work, and you never know what you are after. So because of that, it's a very, very good certification for those who really want to go and learn hands-on ethical hacking. Like if you have never hacked a computer in your life, taking their course will show you the way. And also, it just gives you that confidence that you can show up to a company and look at their systems and look for vulnerabilities and try to exploit them and write a very professional report as well afterwards. So I would say it's a very, very good certification for ethical hacking and offensive security. And if anyone is ever interested in that field, it's definitely something I recommend.
Nice, nice. Okay. So let's talk about your work experience a little bit. You started at help desk, then you moved up to system admin, network engineer, and now cybersecurity engineer. Cybersecurity engineer. Um, give me some horror stories. Like what in your work history? Give me some horror stories, some bad stories, anything. Like talk to me about your work history.
Yeah, I started way at the bottom. I think my path is what most people use to consider to be typical. It doesn't have to be nowadays. People can go straight and work in cybersecurity. But working from help desk, I realized that, you know, I struggled a lot. I still have my accent, but my accent used to be thicker than this. And I used to work my very first job in IT, answering phone calls. And the moment I answered a phone call, having an accent, people thought they just connected to someone in Africa. So I used to be asked, hey, are you in the United States? Are you in the United States? And I struggled with that a lot. Then once they knew that I was in the United States, people still sometimes didn't believe that I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why you see that now I have a YouTube channel. I get certifications. I do a YouTube channel where I do hands-on technical stuff and show people what I can do. It's from those days where this constant doubt that I used to get. So help desk is a wonderful place. I still believe that I was very good at the help desk because I like to help people. I like to work with people and individuals. But one thing that burned me out from that career was mostly what I just described, the phone calls. If it was just in person, I had a good time with that. Moving to system administration, I learned a lot. I was lucky enough that the company that I was working for while I was at help desk, I was getting the CCNA certifications. I was taking any training that I can. When the sysadmin left, I was the next person in line who had some training, official certifications that they could tell that I was trained by an external entity. Then they gave me a chance and I was able to excel at that. Then I moved into network administration just to come full circle. But throughout the whole time, I always knew I wanted to work in cybersecurity because we used to get audited as well. And the auditors will come and they'll ask us questions, they'll do ethical hacking. And I really wanted that. And that's how I ended up pursuing cybersecurity as a career from just seeing what the auditors were doing.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's the one thing about help desk is just like hearing your statement about the burnout with the phone calls and things like that. So
Yeah.
I could definitely understand on that. Yeah, we've been the angry users and you know and people just don't
and laughing with because you be normally all the other tech would have a hard time. When it comes to me, it's almost as if I know I have a secret ingredient and all the angry, I'm talking about irate, angry, they want to hurt you, want to throw like nuts. They on my back and call, we having fun, we are cool. And I told Marvin, there's a trick to it because so many people come up with an ego. All I did was play a soft-minded, or a little trick I learned over the year, I call it digital butler. It's like one about white glove service. But when I do that, the little comedy that come along with it, the little trick to how you speak, you have to let them drop their guard. If you can't have them drop their guard and throw out everything they're done, it got to a point, it make my job easy. Marvin understand this. Not understand these angry customers looking for someone who they can rely on trust. If they can gain your trust knowing that you're there to help them, they'll tell you everything you know and then something. You don't have to ask no more questions. And I explain that story in my manager, even in my present job, that the way you can talk to people, you can make them give you way more than enough information you need, and you can pinpoint what the problem is without stressing yourself out so much. It's all about people interaction, all about communication, all about body language, all about understanding what your thought process. So when you say you had to run into the language barrier, I'm Nigerian. No matter how they think about me and my tongue language, they're like, oh, your accent's so thick. Where are you from? I think I'm from Nigeria. Oh, then the stereotype come to kick in. I don't care about that stereotype. I'm different from everybody else. I'm sure you went through the same thing that I went through of being an African person in this field. You realize you had to raise the bar much, much higher than everyone else. I mean, I told Marvin this. There are three levels of black people. An African American person that work twice or three times harder. A Caribbean, 4 to 5. But once they know that you're from Africa, you really have to raise it so high. But they can recognize you're not African, it's you. You know what the hell you're doing.
Exactly.
You mentioned that. I fully grab, I fully understand why we have to always be on our people. We can't just be mediocre. But
we can't. No.
there's no space for mediocre for Africans. So Marvin, you understand?
We have to be good. That's just it.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing though. If you compare us to our white counterparts, it's like sometimes I wonder, it's like why do we have to kind of continue to work twice as hard? I've seen sloppy system admins who are Caucasians, but they never get fired or they never get reprimanded. But it's always us who have to work 3 times as hard, 4 times as hard. I get it. Yeah, it's in our nature. We show up, we have certifications, but respect us that we show up. You know, don't try to kill us with some imaginary bar that keeps moving every time we hit that bar. You know what I'm saying? So
I get. We the moving targets. Yeah.
exactly. So, but
I got used to it, but then as African, what our culture taught us is to never give up. Dig your feet as deep as possible and let nobody move. He's from Zimbabwe. I'm from Nigeria. Doesn't matter where we are in Africa, we all have that same mind. We had to prove we are the best. Being second, or best.
We're not just getting by. We're not a token like employee to meet some quotas for HR. We are here to do real good work. And I think if you speak to the people that I've worked with before, I mean, I don't, with your team at work, you don't say, hey, I'm here to do this. You just do it. And that's what I've seen that works. You just show up, make sure that, if mistakes happen once in a while, you make mistakes, but you're on top of your game. You are there to really perform in the highest levels that the company expects. And they end up, like in Target, I got promoted to be a senior engineer after almost like 2 years, which was with a little faster than before. That was my very first like engineering job that I had coming from network administration and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I know, but we had an episode, me and Eli, we had an episode about burnout. And I think having that constant drive that we all have, it does lead to us kind of mentally getting burnt out sometimes. So it is what it is. We show up, we do the work, I'd rather prove to myself that I'm able to do the work than to prove to somebody else like I could do the work just as good as they do. So it's yeah.
That I carry when we walk with work. Marvin would work with me. We had a point project. It was biggest trouble I always do. I put myself far beyond.
Yeah, I had to kind of tell them to stop. Like, like, dude, you you're not building a company and like inclusive at the same time. Like
Yeah.
we're here to do the work. Like you're doing too much sometimes. So, but
Well, you see yourself and that can work together. She'll look it down on us, our work way hard. So we either fight against the imaginary bar or we fall in the tug of, oh, you're not working hard enough, we will unify you. That is our stigma as being African IT professional in the market. It's not going to go away as long we're working on a European corporation. I can't say why, but more so, European mindset. It's not going to change. This is why you call me burn myself out to the extreme level because it's never enough. I can work a little hard. They'll say I'm late, but I'm doing the same thing as my white counterpart or my Caucasian counterpart. But they're hard working. But me doing the same with them, it's not hard working. I'm being So this is why when you see me come in from top to bottom, everything I be on my feet, I'm not perfect, but it's almost like you working to be perfect in everything. You can't make too much mistake because if you make too many mistakes, they put to point it out. But for our Caucasian counterpart, they're not going to point it out as much as they point out our mistakes. So how we understand where I'm coming from when you come in, you're not doing this. You're going to let our work speak for itself. When our work speak for itself, then that's what that like.
Yeah, it's almost like you end up becoming this. It's like a 360, right? They think you show up, you might be in a different category. Then after a while, you end up in another one. But the one thing that I found out is that as long as we do quality work and you produce good results, and you also have the credentials, like these certifications and other things to actually back what you have. Not only does that provide stability for your career, just in case your current employer goes out of business, you can get a newer job faster too, because you not only do you have the good experience, but you have the papers to prove that you have it. And for me, as someone without a computer science degree, I've always felt like these certifications and my knowledge and my projects and things that I can speak to are all I have. I mean, I can go and get a computer science degree tomorrow, but with the knowledge that we have and also the certifications, the real valuable, appropriate certifications can be very helpful, especially if you have to find a new job. You don't want to, be on the market for 6 months because, you're missing some gaps somewhere.
Yeah.
I do.
I think I heard you have to do an upload for the certificate degree, which is more valuable because I've noticed that, like I was saying, if you have that certification, you can go anywhere. Doesn't matter if you you can apply for a job in the UK and they like a full thing or who not money. We're like, okay, I'm going to the UK. Or okay, I'm going to France because it seemed to me the degree system have not been more than
Yeah, they've not been standardized too. So
Yeah.
degree from New York University and one from University of Minnesota. It says cybersecurity or IT. If you look at the curriculum, completely different, and so you're not getting the same person with a degree, but the certifications, at least, especially the cybersecurity ones, they're very, very specific, and they'll give you specific knowledge. Some of them,
and the updated certification is more up to date than the degree. That's the biggest problem because I went on other panel and I had this conversation about certification versus degree, and I tell you, you're better off than certification, but not it's up to date. It's on point. It matters on today's market. The problem with degree was you have people sitting out the most loan cost 20 to 100 grand.
Oh, yeah.
You can utilize that same degree to get the job you're looking for. Now they're trying to convert certification to degrees as well, but if you're not catching up to date with the market standard, it will come to you or with Microsoft or all the other market standard, then the degrees almost.
Yeah, that's why I've always been a big proponent of, I see certifications and degrees as tools to get me hired so I can provide for my family if I lost my job, to get me promotions. I don't see them as a means to gain knowledge. I mean, you can gain knowledge most of the time if you get a job, if you're just lucky enough to get a job and you do good work, you get a lot of knowledge there. I also do a lot of home labs. Like I believe in, if I'm curious about something and I can do it at work,
Yeah.
I spin up myself. I'll do my own experiments. Sometimes I'll get carried away and go on a tangent. But I think that's part of the growing and learning. And those things really become invaluable. And after a certain amount of experience in the industry, the papers will get you through maybe, pay scale cuts. Certain companies say, if you don't have a 4-year degree, we can't put you in this pay range. So I'm lucky that I have a 4-year degree, but I know friends who work in cybersecurity who can get to certain companies, because those companies have these draconian rules that say you need to have a 4-year degree for us to pay you $120,000 or something silly like that. But they're just tools at the end of the day. They don't really mean that you know what you're doing either. The experience from work really counts the most, to be honest. So people like yourself with 20 plus experience in the industry, that's what people are looking for. That's what gets a lot of people to respect you more. So if they know that you have done and you've been exposed to things.
And definitely having your home lab. So whatever you want to work on, you have those tools available to develop your skills. So I tell everybody in the IT field I come across, like, spend time or set some money aside to set up your home lab, 2-3 laptops, nothing expensive, and just have your tools ready. Just try new things, try different things.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the pros and cons of your career and your current position. What do you feel is the pros and cons?
I find the pros to be, I think I chose the correct career because this is going to keep me busy for a long time. I don't think I see myself like retiring and forgetting my work. I find a lot of excitement. I go to work, I'm always looking forward to, okay, what bad things are about to happen? What can I find? Or how can I break into these systems? Especially in a couple of weeks here, I'll be joining a red team where I'll be doing simulated attacks like the bad people. That stuff really, at this time in my life, is very exciting.
It's nice.
Pros are, I get to do things that I'll otherwise be doing if I wasn't working, which is a really good thing. Like, think of getting paid to break into computers, to think a bad person, to literally hack things, which is something that I really enjoy. So that's a very big pro. The cons, like you mentioned, I think you said, the burnout. If you're not careful, if you are really not taking care of yourself,
exactly,
too carried away, you might be away from your family because you're so like, hey, I need to learn how to hack. It's a very, very fine line between, us keeping our skills and enjoying the work, but also being intentional about, letting go, taking a break from this computer stuff. Because at least for me, I like it so much that if it were up to me, I'll just be doing it all the time. So the con is, if we're not careful, not only can we alienate those around us, but also we end up burning ourselves out of the industry, which is not ideal. So that's something that I've been very conscious of, and making sure that I take care of myself and be there for my family before spending too much time in this stuff.
Yeah, true. That's I've seen a lot of IT people burn themselves out just to the point where they just they're not even marketable anymore, So yeah.
And there's some IT quitting the IT. They gave up on them. But I've met people who just, how would I put it? It was better with the IT. They know what, I'm going to change my job. I'll be a truck driver, or I'll be a garbage man. It's like sometimes they get to a particular brick wall that feel like they're not being appreciated enough. I think that's what the biggest problem in IT. We having too much fluctuation of people from overseas who are headhunters trying to lowball the standard of what certain professions supposed to make and make it seem like you're not that important. I think that's what we have an issue, because I remember I talked to Marvin when I bumped into him in that same building, and he mentioned some of these lawyers, but like IT professionals are not much important to you, but yet you are the backbone. So today, without us, who will keep things running.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
We don't even have a union. That's what drives us.
You want to be part of a union?
We don't even have a union. We need one, but we don't have them. New reporter have union. Newscaster got union. Construction worker got union. The nurse got union. The police got union. But you're like, what?
I think over the past couple of years, especially with the need for digital assets and things like that, IT as a career has been really been put on the spotlight, and we're actually getting more attention than we used to. Because I mean, we keep the world running right now. I mean, everything is runs on computers.
Exactly.
Like as a system administrator, I remember I was running the entire company by myself. I knew every single server. I knew every employee that was joining, and without me, or if I had made a mistake, the company can lose money just like that from a simple mistake that I made. But of course, the view has always been, oh, you're an expense. People in the field are the one bringing money in. There is no money tied to you as an IT person. In the view, I think is changing and things are getting better. That's what I think on that. And I'm hopeful that at least the appreciation will be
I
better.
believe you or not, but I think there's the problem with this. Today, situation we are in. It's a paradox about who hit hard. Well, you know this is, I'm not sure Marvin knows this well. Whatever company you're working in, they hire more IT professionals than usual. But the mistake they're making is that majority of us are working from home. Majority of us don't have an office space. The majority cannot come back into the office. So this pandemic threw a unique monkey wrench that only a few companies understood what can be done. And they made it clear that to come to the office, everybody need to be at home, not everybody to be remote. They know who can be remote, who cannot be remote. And they made that quick to clear, but multiple companies, for the sake of want to control the workforce, they fear the real estate is not in your favor.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobby knows that New York City real estate is not
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing. What I love about I'll say what I love about the pandemic is that it forced a lot of companies to kind of look at, their infrastructure and say, hey, maybe I don't need to pay for this $500,000 office. I could run everything in the cloud and still be productive. So that's what it comes down to. Life throws you those monkey wrenches. Just got to be prepared to handle them.
We're going on to do with hybrid.
Yeah.
That more you to working from home. So I know this something I had a year ago, and I'm sure it's going to happen. Depend on where the remote workers live at or which region, they might have to station some tech to be nearby, just in case if the remote process not going to work, you can send a tech to that person home to troubleshoot the issues on hand. I remember I was working at the lot of some of our was sent home to the executive office in their home to do the troubleshooting. Then come back. I remember Marvin, I had to deal with a manager. He got 2 offices and he have a home office, one in the city, one in Long Island, and one. So I have to build PT for his Europe office, for his Long Island office, and for his home office. And I asked him, who would have set up with the home office? Oh, we got one of the executive office.
Yeah, I've seen that also, but I think now it's like they're cutting back on that, like multiple PCs in the environment now. Because one of the things we've done at the firm where I'm at is that they've cut back on those multiple PCs. It's basically either a desktop or a laptop, and they pretty much put their foot down because all of that is pretty much costly. If you look at the license on the back end, you're paying for a license for a PC and then a license for a desktop. So at the end of the day, Microsoft is making their money, but you're paying out of pocket. So yeah,
Microsoft likes that. It's what save accounts. That's what they used to call them back in the day. Access per user.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're looking at they're seeing that they're paying a lot of money for it and it's not really necessary. So it's pretty much like, hey, one laptop per user. It's either a laptop or desktop. So,
With Microsoft, when I saw that change, made another change.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
um,
He said it's fun. I think it's fun for him because you're not dealing with much people. You deal with the machine back end. A lot of people keep telling me there's a port to come based on your position. I like to deal with people. That's my pro. Some people don't like to deal with people. That's their pro. So I'm guessing for Howard, a pro is I don't have to see your face. I just deal with the equipment and the system. I don't have no equipment shutting out me. They listen. I give the command. They follow it. They execute. I think that's
Yes. To be honest, it's both a positive and negative. I really enjoyed getting to working with people that really had genuine technological issues, and me being there to help troubleshoot and fix them. I found a sense of purpose in that. Then compared to the other side where you're just engineering solutions, you don't get that instant gratification. You have to wait, and maybe 6 months from now, you get feedback that the tool that you worked on so much is working, and sometimes you don't. So it's both ways. And working with people by far and making sure that you communicate these things is one of the most fulfilling things. Was even though we are IT people, finding meaning and treating it as a vocation also kind of helps.
mhm.
At the end of the day, I think that's what we are as people, is one to really find real meaning in what we do every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So let's talk about the area of IT you're in. So what got you into, hacking and cybersecurity? Like, what was that spark that got you into it?
Yeah, I was working at help desk, and I was at a college and I was working at help desk. A lot of people came with laptops that had viruses. And the first time I saw ransomware, somebody showed up with a laptop that had a screen that said, your computer has been hacked, you need to pay Bitcoin. And I saw that note and I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was maybe fake. There was a way for me to get around it. And the more I did the investigation, I found out, no, this is actually a real ransomware. It's a real attacker. And there's no way around this unless if they have backups. And that really bothered me a lot, that there's people out there who can manipulate computers in a way that I didn't understand. So I was just out of curiosity. I wanted to be like one of them. I wanted to know, how are they writing that ransomware? How are they delivering it? And I quickly learned that I can't just go and say, hey, I want to write ransomware or I want to deliver ransomware. I needed to know how computers work, networking. I needed to know operating systems. And I needed to know, how to communicate those tools to people, especially when I'm working for a big company. And because of that, that's how I ended up, following the path of going through system administration, knowing exactly how people deploy systems and how systems are hardened. Then going through network administration, knowing how a network infrastructure is set up, or the protocols that are involved. And I might have taken too long to move into cybersecurity. I struggled a lot actually to get into cybersecurity. Nobody thought I could. That's how I ended up getting some of the certifications. But it was mostly out of curiosity. And to be honest, I just didn't like that there were certain people out there who knew something that was so nasty that I had no idea how it works. I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to know what they're doing. And that's what got me into ethical hacking and offensive security.
Nice, nice. Eli, you have a question or?
um based on your answer, and I know that you have a YouTube channel. So that's more like connecting to why you in this area. Why you showcasing and teaching, what was the main purpose of you connecting to the audience to your channel? Were you trying to create as avenues to encourage people to jump to the skills that it is something that we're getting into?
My YouTube channel, I started it first as advice from, I was reading Daniel Misla's blog, and he said, in order for there's a blog post called How to Build a Career in Cybersecurity. And one of the things he mentioned was you need to get the basics done, and I had gotten the basics done. And he said, the next thing is you need to show people what you know. Just say, hey, world, this is what I know. And if you can write a blog post about it, if you can show in a video, it removes the doubt. So you can say my YouTube channel is like 2 or 3 main reasons. One is me before I got into cybersecurity, just showing the world. So when I applied for a job, they say, hey, do you know this? I'll say, yes, I know this. Then after the interview, I say, hey, by the way, here's another video where I spend an hour talking about the same topic. So if people had any doubts, they can see me talk about it. They can judge themselves whether or not I know most of them are live streams where I'm just like, hey, today we're breaking into a Windows computer. Then the second part, which I actually posted on Reddit a couple of days ago, it really bothers me that I speak to folks mostly from Zambia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. Companies like EY and other big multinational companies out there, they use certifications as a measure of proficiency. I know as someone who was in Zimbabwe, I could never have afforded $700 for a certified ethical hacker certification. That would have been my teacher's salary maybe for 3 months. So coming to YouTube and saying, hey, you can learn how to do ethical hacking for free on a cheap laptop that was supposed to be thrown away, just install a bunch of software and you can be doing that. It doesn't have to be expensive. So sharing that knowledge with people. But what I also found during the process is every Friday, I have 3 or 4 people that I speak to 30 minutes at a time, mostly from the third world countries, saying, hey, I really need to move into this industry. I don't know where to get started. And if I learn from your videos, people don't believe that I learned anything because I have nothing to show for it. They're almost saying, hey, how can we get these certifications? And sharing that knowledge, especially ethical hacking, is something that I'm passionate about. And to be honest, in the world that we live in, if you are just structured enough, you can learn pretty much anything for free on the internet. And I'm part of that group of people who are trying to deliver that content for free on the internet.
Nice. So I'm gonna talk about just give you we're gonna touch off some subject for a second. What do you see happening on the hacker side of cybersecurity? Do you see like a lot of groups getting together and partnering up? Because I saw a presentation a couple of days ago where the presenter is saying that what he believes is like a lot of organizations are structuring like hacker organizations are structuring like corporations now. You have somebody who's out there looking for the talent. You have the manager. You have the HR person. They're partnering together to create bigger, better viruses and ransomware. Do you see that as like happening right now due to the pandemic, or this has just been happening, slowly building up over the years?
You know, I'm very fascinated by that, and I'm glad you asked that question. What I've seen happen is nation-state actors are getting way, way better at what they do. You see certain countries breaking into other countries. The US is also part of that, where, you know, they call it intelligence gathering. But nation-states in general, they are more involved than that they have ever been before. And I think if you've listened to some of these podcasts out there, there's certain countries that actually are benefiting financially from just cyber crime, where they've parts of their militaries, cyber units that do it for a living 24/7. They come in and they go. So I see nation states being one of the biggest actors out there, which means that governments are likely to be hiring more cybersecurity people, more experienced cybersecurity people, because they really want to combat these nation-state actors. Then organized groups as well from certain parts of the world. We have seen an increase, like you said, in collaboration. But one thing that I've seen very common that happens is one person releases a malware. Within 2 days or 24 hours, another group takes the same copy of the malware. They weaponize it. They make it even better. Because the base has already been created. And this trend has been happening all the time, where a small variant of malware gets released. Bigger groups that have more resources, more qualified people, take it and weaponize it at a larger scale, and they cause more harmful. So that means they didn't do much of the legwork. Somebody did the best, and they just took it and put better tools around it to make it better. And that's something that if I were to be concerned about, like the cyber threat landscape, is that ability to weaponize malware to that scale. It has been happening for a long time, but recently, organized crime, criminal groups have been very, very active. And it's unfortunate that while they have been getting caught, the majority of them never get caught because it's easier to hide that money and also their identities.
Yeah, because when you're structured behind when you're a group that's structured like an organization or a corporation now, you could easily hide yourself instead of easily being caught. So yeah, so like I tell a lot of business owners that I come across, it's like it doesn't matter if you don't have anything that a hacker or somebody wants. It's basically when they get into your system and find what they're looking for, then they move off to your vendor. Then they're in your vendor system. Then they look around and see what kind of client that vendor has, and so forth and so forth. So you're basically the gateway into this whole kind of this whole structure. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, or you could just be part of a botnet, say a compromise in your computer, realize that I can't get in your bank account. I can just keep you as part of a botnet where if I really need to attack another victim, I can just use you to jumpstart my attacks, or I can use some traffic from your computer to cause a simple denial of service.
yeah,
And that's why I think that everyone just need to be diligent about their cybersecurity hygiene and doing the right things and making sure that attackers don't get to you. I don't think we're in a world where you can say, well, I'm not important enough. Nobody cares about me anymore.
yeah,
Because we can be used as gateways.
exactly. All right. So let's talk about your mentors. Who are some of your mentors in your field, in your career?
Yeah, I have an old manager of mine. This gentleman, I was working for him. I was doing system administration work, and he was like, hey, if you got a new job tomorrow and you move into cybersecurity, I'll not be mad. I know this is something that you're passionate about. I know you have been working towards and getting better at it. And to be honest, I'm encouraging you to start looking for a new job. I know you work for me, which is very unusual for people to say. We work for them. It's not in their best interest for you to leave. And because of that, I've always used them as a mentor where if I made any career moves, I'll say, hey, I'm about to take this certification. Or, hey, I'm struggling with maybe communication. Maybe it's a misunderstanding between myself and a coworker. And I think I'm right. And I just need someone who's going to be better honest and tell me, you're overthinking things. Nothing is there. So I have my old manager that I always bounce ideas off. I also have someone who I never worked with before, but I found via my YouTube channel. They just reached out to me one day. They were like, hey, I see that you have consistently produced content. And to them, consistency was something that really struck a chord. Was they know that it's easy to have a burst of energy and just produce 20 videos, then disappear for 6 months and have burst of energy and come back. But I've consistently produced content week after week. And they're like, because of this, I would like to help you get into cybersecurity. Is there anything that I can do? I was like, hey, actually, yeah. I've been applying and I didn't get any responses. So I started bouncing ideas off them to get my resume fixed. And they were honest. Both my mentors are people that tell me when I'm being ridiculous or if I'm not going in the right direction. They're not worried about offending me. They really care about where I'm going. Before I make a career move, before I make any major decisions, like, I want to switch teams from blue team to red team, or system administration to cybersecurity. I say, hey, is this a good amount of time to have spent at a job? I wanted to switch after 3 months into another job, and it was like, that's not a good idea. Unless if you really hate your job, I would use the next 4 or 5 months gaining the certifications, because you want to make sure that your work history is still solid, things like that. So I have a couple of mentors, and because of that, I found myself mentoring some people. I have 3 people that I work with very closely, and 2 of them got jobs in cybersecurity. One is currently struggling with a unique situation where they have a master's in cybersecurity, but they've never worked in IT. And people really getting a little weird when you show up with a master's. I think you want $120,000 to start. So, things like that. But yeah, having mentors definitely is something that I think needs to be applied, and any organizations out there that helps with connecting people with mentors or something that I like to work with.
Yeah. I want to touch a little bit about you were saying that one of the reasons for your YouTube channel is basically like showing people that you actually know what you're talking about. And I think what a lot of IT people fail to realize is that using social media for your benefits is one of the best things about it. Like that's another reason why I started my YouTube channel is like, hey, I want to show you what I could do because I have an extensive career in this industry and you know, I know what I'm talking about. So it's just whenever I just talk to people, I'm like, use social media. Like it's not all bad. You just have to kind of use it for your benefit. You know, just it's your living resume, it's your living body of work. So, you know, why not you put that? Mm-hmm.
channel because at first I did not want to bump head with the jargon of the tech YouTube that we have on my therapy. We had Climate Tech, we had Human Nexus, we had J2 said. But what Marvin said, they are the level one. I had to agree with them.
Exactly.
It's level one. But they don't have the back end on the purpose side of all that we are experienced, observed, worked on, and built upon. So I said, you know what? It not be a competition, be more of another level with showcasing things that they have not approached yet. Lyman might have done it in the early career, but you walk away from it. I can understand that. But what they're doing is something we can build on top as well and bring it to the next level. So this podcast we're doing is just to open the door wider. So it's not everything that you see besides Lyman text, Amen, Nexus, J2 Cent. Yet that's one part of it, but it's much more beside that as well. So
Yeah.
they bridge and they gather. This is what IT really is. There's so much more that go on the inside you can learn from. So like
Exactly.
me and Marvin, you will do the channel. We'll talk about IT more. I may talk about tips or how to protect yourself when you debate with trimmer base. I will have to work with you, however, because just this issue you have with the connection, everything is down to the science. Hardware and the software. If you don't have the right combination, the right formula, they're not going to work the way it's supposed to work. And I exactly. Me and Marvin in corporate America, Marvin will tell you, me and two other guys, we would get heavily geeked out. I mean, geeked out. Marvin will look at us like we lost our mind. We just speaking stuff. Oh, they're using the wrong technique. Marvin just sit down and watch us like, no, they think you right. They don't care about your point of view. But yeah, but this is why they have this intro and this intro and this, because we would go ahead and say this is why we getting so much pushback, so much annoying headache, unnecessary headache, to the point whereby we wait for something to happen. Marvin will tell you this. They probably work together. I saw something. I put it out there ahead of time, month in advance, maybe 2 or 3 months. By the time it went down, my phone blown up. Oh, called it. Oh, you called it. Oh, you called it. Like, called what? Oh, remember you thought it's happened. X, Y, and Z did, and it actually happened the way it happened. I think the problem. They hired the wrong expert.
Yeah.
One the guy told her at the IT profession there are two kind of things you can either you make them be able to make money or you have them save money.
Yeah.
Our position is them to save money. Well, how are you going to save them money if this keep on going on and they spend way more to fix the problem? We should spend less.
Yeah.
And I'm glad when Marvin mentioned that this is like a resume, or online resume, but also to showcase so that people know that much more thinking just building the science and the formula behind the actual stuff. So
exactly.
While we're doing this interview, we are using you and many other athletes to showcase people. There are too many different avenues you can venture in that you can survive what you can do.
Exactly.
Hopefully, you may have a first black corporation and you have more black people in different areas of IT that we can branch out even more because you know that very well, Howard. Now the next.
Yeah, actually today I read that South Africa is building a Silicon Valley and companies like Amazon and Google, they're interested in having another team there, just like how India has been, where people they get developers. But I really actually, at first when I started doing these online appearances, YouTube and things, I used to be very self-conscious. I would actually hold back, like, oh, I don't want to sound like an arrogant person. But here's what I found out: it's both ways. If I make YouTube videos for 10 consecutive years, you're going to see a history, a progression of me even aging, but also me getting better. That's, like you said, an online portfolio that no one can take that away from you. Every time you're contributing to the community, at the same time you're showing the community that it's okay to start somewhere. If you watch my videos from 3 years ago, when I didn't know much about cybersecurity, to videos where now I am doing ethical hacking, you can tell that I've grown, and as a person, my growth, I'm lucky enough that it's documented. And I would like to keep that documentation in place, both to inspire others and also for those who don't watch the entire thing and pick on pieces, they will still benefit from it. But at the same time, I'm not shy to say that that is my contribution to the community. And also, it's a way for me, if I wanted you to hire me and you were using Azure, you can go and say, hey, here's a couple of videos of me working on security groups in Azure, and this is what I know about Azure. This is what I've done. And you can take my word for it. You can see me do it.
Yeah.
Which is different for him.
That's good. Man, my one that I'm doing hardware development, but I always understand the hardware formula because a lot of people keep making that same mistake over and over, saying, "Oh, you don't need this spec and this spec and this spec." But later on, God forbid, you have a 500 machine crashing on it. For what kind of reason? What chip are you using? What kind of hardware are you using? What kind of stuff you using? What you overlook? And when you find out what overlooked, then it's not that they can take your work because they'll say, who are you? So we have to do things like this. Okay, to teach, to educate. I might have to start doing a stream set of video series. But now you start walking you through what you need to get, what you need to watch out for, what kind of platform you need, what kind of cameras, because I'm getting people are going too far with the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 professional camera. And I say you don't need,
but for that money, you could get better equipment. I get it. Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah,
corporation make that same mistake for a decade, and you gonna watch it and see it. Now all of a sudden you got the infrastructure bill comes to play. Oh, you want to build a landline? I was telling Marvins, everybody want to go to the cloud, but we are behind. Our United States infrastructure is not the same as United Kingdom or France or Holland, not even China. But you can't go too far to the extreme end, putting too much work on something that is crumbling. How are you going to do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You at the cybersecurity expert, you see that easy.
Yeah, even when I was a sysadmin, we once made a mistake of buying Dell XPS computers with the very first chip that they had produced. They were being sold as high-end computers and they were crashing with Microsoft Excel. And we found out that the chip that they were using was the same as the Chromebooks. And yeah, and of course, you launch Google Chrome and a couple of Excel spreadsheets, the thing crashes and we paid $2,000 for it. And we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I let me get a good story. This is An Inc. A guy was telling me, oh, you don't need too much RAM. How you want to tell me you have an i7 processor, a 80 gig, not 80 gig, sorry, 200 gig hard drives, and 8 gigs of RAM, right? But you want to put Photoshop.
Yeah, 8 gigs for example.
And and I'm looking at him like, you need to be at least 32. No, not the hard drive for the paid for. I watch this guy. Now, mind you, he's a high position. You know about hardware like I do? And well, who met with hardware instructor tell you Photoshop recorded the resource vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one thing you have the basic minimum to run Windows. I keep trying to figure out why these companies are done in the state. Windows have a better to operate alone by itself, not with the added application put on it. So when you start putting the software vampire, watch Marvin, they will start taking my word and saying the same thing. Software vampires, you put in their machine, not only it will fight with the resource with Windows, it will fight with the resource with any other application you have in that machine. So when you're using Photoshop and by the time 30 minutes in, it just freeze, and then shut down BSOD, looking at that, you're asking, why did it happen? Think.
You can do the math in calculations.
You trying to make a Volkswagen Beetle act like a Roy Wallace. It's Now,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing this now in my current corporation. Like we've got laptops that can't hold the latest Windows 20H update. It's like you gotta kind of future think these laptops. Like you need Windows itself. Microsoft will always push out big updates for Windows, so you got to think about that. Then you got to think about these software that constantly need to update. So that's taking up hardware space. Now the next big update that rolls out, you can't roll it out because there's no hard drive space. So plus user data, and then yeah, so it's like you got to future think and future proof everything. Most of these, and plus most of these decision makers are not hardware savvy. That's the thing. They're not hardware savvy. They have no IT background, but they put them in place because they're good at crunching numbers. And
I was going to ask you, is it because people like you who have been in the industry and they've seen things are too expensive? Maybe.
but
it's not a too expensive. Let me know the secret. It's not a too expensive. There's a hidden handshake that going between the vendor and the client behind the shadow. We're not paying attention of. Because let's be real, Marvin noted almost a decade and a half ago, people used to throw out the machine. They found out they cannot do it because of federal regulation. That the FTT they live by did a part of the process when you give it a old machine. You look at the list. They do not white list and the white list. We did that with UBS. And you know, do not white list, you had to get the hard drive, put in the evidence back, write down the name or the user of the machine, the spec, what machine take it out from, put it in the box so they can investigate, make sure this doesn't happen. Now, problem is when you want to do feature proof in the machine, they don't think long term, just for the sake of saving money.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Like, and these vendors, let's be honest with you, they're not always giving you the best. Like you have the big budgets like Bloomberg. People who I know who work in Bloomberg, they say they get the top of the line piece. They're not getting the end of the line getting pushed out, making room for the new set of series that coming out.
Yeah.
That's why we have these issues where they're not feature proofing. Like that's number one. That's not hardware. They're putting like hard drive. What kind of hard drive you use? Are you using the mechanical hard drive? Are you using the data hard drive? Are you using the M2 hard drive? Another thing, the chip, like you said, the XPS with Dell machine was no different from the Chrome chip. Why would you think that way and think, oh, you're going to save costs? Remember, every processor are not the same. Some processors require extra horsepower. If you want to get developer, Marvin know that developer are work addicts. Not you guys, cybersecurity guys, developers, because they know what their job is to constantly improve or upgrade whatever software or application company utilize. Now, they don't get the proper tools to set the company straightforward. It'll be nothing but a bunch of hiccups. I do tech support. When they send me tickets, they're not explaining the detail. And when I try to explain them, this is not what needs to be done because y'all overlooking the process. You want to tell me the process, but I've been battle tested far too many times to know y'all will look at a particular point. And then God forbid, I turn to the ultra nerd and start breaking down the process with them and start teaching them what they know. Marvin tell you, I do that too much. When people look at me and I start geeking out, this Marvin doing. Oh boy,
yeah, lying page again. So
yeah,
but that's a good thing.
But I mean, yeah, we need people who have seen things to speak out, and we want that they listen.
YouTube channel need to be done because what you're doing. I saw your YouTube channel. I'm like, after the leave your YouTube channel bad because not only you exposing them, you're teaching them, you're enlightening them, you're motivating them at the time that you're meant to be done. What Marvin doing is needed. What I'm doing, we're in the streamer market now. Everybody want to go into streaming. You're looking for games, want to teach people and talk about conversation. The setup matter. The setup always matter because I see some of the same kind of mistake that corporations are making that people are doing their damn self. And they don't really think about the long-term event because you testing out Windows 11. Me and Marvin, we know not to jump on it because based on one. Our PC are not neighbor, custom made. Right?
Yeah, custom made.
Pushing the update on us because they know we will catch on to what's going on. Now, God forbid, you see the pictures. Some of these hardware are not cheap.
Oh yeah, you don't want them to break your cards with a simple update.
So as hardware junkie, hardware professional, we finally understood the problem behind the corporations are not trying to learn. They're getting people who they think that understand who you can't. I can't call it pen, but you punch the numbers. Yes, you punch the number. Do you check what kind of software you're ordering that you need for your business? You check the minimum requirement on the software, and you check, okay, is this the minimum requirement for this month? What have you add this software and this software and this software? What's the requirement you need for these three then? All in the same machine. Do you even think about that?
Yeah.
And where you see what I'm coming from right now? I've seen companies do that all the time for 20 years. I can't remember quite for this application. Yeah, but combine them all together. Not just for one alone and say it's things. No, it's not the same. That's why you have BSOD happen a lot. My new application costs about BSOD, especially Excel spreadsheet, which is probably known because of all the extra macro and stuff they plug it put onto it. It's mostly on a network share drive, and they try to work on it. The past 7 years, there's no fix with it. Now I'm geeking out right now. So Eddie, it's coming out now.
I was going to trigger you and say, did you also set up roaming profiles for people? Was I hear a nightmare?
Yeah, I'm glad when they got rid of that roaming profile. It's like it's a headache, man. I'm seen, yeah, it's a headache.
I was the first one. I would tell you that. How many times I was the guy who timed people how long it take to replace certain type of machine. Either have roaming profile, no roaming profile, or this. Marvin would tell you I was the guy who do the testing, the timing, timeout. So and I know that I have a opinion of what part they have, what model they have. If I'm going by your model and the spec, that's crazy. I tell you, I pay attention to every small details. And you're a cybersecurity expert engineer, so you have to pay attention to every small detail. When you explain things to people, they have to listen. They have to. If they don't listen, they can make a multi-million-dollar mistake. Whereby they got no choice to bend on their knee and say, "Please save us."
Yeah.
There's a meme that was going out when you see a bunch of text were praying to the server, "Please do not crash."
I saw that one. Yeah, I think I saw it on LinkedIn. Yeah.
All right. Well, now go ahead, finish.
No, the thing what I'm trying to put is this. I'm glad you mentioned about social media and using social media at the living resume to add to your LinkedIn profile. But we speak about these things of what you do and our spirit. I talk about terminology, technique, formulas. It played in hands. So when people looking for a professional who can act with a job and they had a YouTube channel, the first thing they're going to look at is your video. You working on, we're working on. And they see that you know exactly what you're talking about and you can articulate yourself and break it down to the science. It will force companies to rethink things now. Who am I hiring? Why I have all these problems? Why am I wasting so much money when these people can come in and save me a whole lot more money?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's the thing, because you look at the tech YouTuber I mentioned before, they've been doing it for a couple of years now. Corporation now listen to them. Online therapy, Limus Tech, Mr. Who's the Boss, Gimme Nexus, J2 Cent. Corporations listen to them and make the actual change needed to have better products. If these guys telling your phone is not done properly, you're having an FID issues, and they realize they turn the truth and they're calling into their corporate office or their manufacturing plant. This how we do our testing is so that they understand the technology. You will be needed sooner or later. I'm going to you as who know as Cisco or who know whatever company, and they have to ask you what your expert opinion concerning X, Y, and Z. People will show up to you because of that, but what you showcase, what you know, and what you fully understand. The thing will apply to Marvin. When Marvin continues to do what he's doing, and people have to call him over, they know it. We need your opinion because you seem like you know that what you're talking about. It's going to happen. I think IT professionals need to take social media in a different limelight and say, you know what, maybe I can add that and apply that to my resume, what I have on LinkedIn, and they feel like a teaching moment. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm articulating. Here's what you can do, what you cannot do. These are the steps I apply to fix certain issues.
Exactly. Yeah.
So all right, man. All right. That's what we set up this podcast for. We could talk to all the nerds and see what it is about. So Howard, being in the IT field, or what kind of hobbies have you picked up? Like what what do you do to kind of just like de-stress from everything?
When I'm not doing any IT work, I play a lot of video games. I think that's a cliche for a lot of people, but you can find me. I play video games that most people don't play around here. I play FIFA, so I've played FIFA from 2012 up to the latest 2022. I have a group of friends on Fridays. You can see we are very loud, by the way. On Fridays, we started Xbox party and we have matches, and it's really fun. Other than that, I do home automation. So my home, I have irrigation systems, cameras, and thermostats that I try to combine and put in one central place and make my home better.
Yeah.
It's really fun stuff to be able to just do home automation. It's really not cybersecurity work.
Yeah.
Something that I can use what I need to make happen. Just
Nice. There's a home automation group that I follow on Facebook. A lot of I jump in there from time to time to see what's new. It's a lot of good stuff, man. I like home automation. I like coming home and tell my Alexa turn on my lights. That's one of the geeky stuff about tech. It's like you get things like that. So, so let's talk about. So I see here one of your inspirations for shows is Mr. Robot. Now, I'm not gonna bash Mr. Robot. I know you like it.
yeah.
It's just what was it about that show that got you interested in it?
They hired a cybersecurity expert.
Okay.
I read about the background of the show. They had, what is his name? Was it Rob Fuller? A very well-known cybersecurity expert to inform them on inspiration on some of the attacks. So when I watch some of their screens, they actually are running, say, Metasploit to actually do things. And I like it mostly because it's a fictitious show, at least it's inspired by the real IT. They don't trivialize cyber attacks. Yes. They actually show that, there's these big corporations out there that have very intense and things like that. And also they try to represent cybersecurity in a better light than the other things that I've seen. Yeah. In addition to that, I also think that it speaks to the struggles that people who work in cybersecurity might have. You might see me just show up to work as a cybersecurity engineer doing good work, but you don't know the demons that I'm fighting at home or in my personal life. And that's why I think, at least as a show for entertainment, it's kind of worth watching for somebody who might not be familiar with cybersecurity. Because it is those components.
Nice. Okay. All right. No, it's just Swordfish.
Oh yeah, a lot of people bring up Swordfish as their favorite movie. As far as I'm not sure though. I don't remember. I've watched it, but I think I confused it with a couple of the movies that I've watched. So I can't think of it. But now that you mention it, I probably have it on my list next coming weeks. Because I do watch a movie at least every other week. I like movies.
No, I'm glad you mentioned it. There's not too many hacking movies out there. It's like about, we count under two hands, about 4 to 7 hacking movies.
Yeah, there's a whole list that I have on my computer that I haven't gone to. The problem is when you show up thinking it's a hacking movie, then you realize it's only 2 minutes where maybe an attempted hack happens. The rest is just a lot of fluff. And with the screen that they show, it's just a Linux terminal running, listing processes. Then you're like, okay, really? What is it?
Yeah. It's just I kind of just stay away from IT shows or anything related because they just never get it right. It's like they just never get it right.
Might be technically. That's the problem with IT folks is if you're going to show up with the technical content, they expect you to be technically correct.
No, Marvin, you don't have to stay away. You could be the top critic and say, you know what? And I pull out all the people who trying to project IT and call them out. That's not how IT look. Don't let these people deceive you, because sometimes we need to be the top critic that we are and call people out, because I'm seeing that series, they have military experts point out military action movie and ask them if it's legit or not legit. And I've seen that type of series going on. They're acting for military professional. You're not in the film. That is make believe. We don't do this in the film. But they know, yeah, this is legit. This is the protocol. No, this is not the protocol. This is the makeup. That's when you have people in field that's call people out. This is not what we do. This is what we do. So what's wrong? We being tech experts, we call out these so-called movies that kind of make us look like this is what we are.
Yes.
Maybe we should have a series that we start calling out all the IT movie and start pointing out director, you screwed up here. This is not how we operate. Director, you messed up on this part. You need to do better the next time. Maybe that's how make it more realistic and more interesting. Because let's be honest, sometimes someone have some IT set up, they make us look bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially hacking. Hacking is usually portrayed as hackers have to be these people with mental health, or they don't have social skills, they can't hold a conversation, they're always stuck in a basement. It's always like they don't portray a normal person that you can meet on the street and just talk to and say that's a hacker.
Yeah.
People, when you say you're a hacker, they envision a specific type of person in their heads, and they don't realize that they're hackers who are just, women who probably just look normal. Just like you meet them in the street, you probably think they work somewhere else. Never know.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity.
Okay.
Look like us. I don't think there's ever been a portrayal of a hacker who looks like us anyway. So when people hear that you work in cybersecurity and you look like us, they're like, that's kind of interesting. They don't meet one.
Yeah, I think it's just one of the stigma is just when you come across an IT professional or a hacker, you automatically have this image of what they should look like. But again, the industry is so big that you can be a hacker who wear, you're a female that wear heels and you wear the most designer, but you go back to your home and you've got, you're hacking 24/7. So the image of an IT professional hacker is just something of yesteryear. So definitely a lot of different boxes. So yeah, you don't look like an IT guy or whatever. No. IT does work out too. So it's like
a buff IT person who's running marathons and things. Wait a second, huh?
Yeah.
And you're running marathons and you're doing workouts. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I would tell I'm a big guy, but people to make fun of me say, how you an IT guy? You look like you beat up people. Not fixed. Like, and there was one guy bigger than us and looking at UBA, he's like a portrait. He's like what, 6'4", 6'8", big guy from the army military guy. Or he's like a teddy bear. But if you tell that guy the IT professor, you like, are you sure it's IT or he just the it guy who beat up you? Like, no, but you see his hand. You would think like, how he able to,
yeah,
like the Bad Boy 2 movie. They had a guy who was very tall. He did a geeky role and he had to squat, or his knee surpassed his head, and you like, come on.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. I'm like, why did I get the taller guy to be the geek and having what? His knee up in the air past his head, and you were gonna like, come on, that doesn't look right.
Exactly.
But the portrayal of us as professionals is becoming more comical now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that needs to change, because some of these movies, some of these TV shows, some of these series, the guy that put the portrayal, the IT guy, you just have to look like, oh, when are they gonna stop making not weirdos?
That's why if with your series on YouTube and people, the thing is, once once you have a series that is consistent and people know your style, you have regulars, and some of those people we have never seen, people like us talking on the regular about IT, and obviously now they show up and they hear the experiences. Like what we're talking about today is going to surprise someone. People are like, really? Something that I actually never thought about. So it's almost like the narrative and you being on the forefront and having your podcast, your YouTube channel, and just being out there contributing to all the knowledge that people are consuming really helps as well.
Yeah. So let's get into, I think, one of the hardest questions people like us ever dealt with. is, have you ever encountered racism in your field?
Yeah, I'm
And
one.
wait, hold on before you answer. So,
Mm,
how did you deal with it, and what is it a driving factor for you to be better in your field, be the top cybersecurity engineer?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable, especially I've been in IT almost 10 years now. And one thing that I would tell you is the times that I faced racism, it was very apparent. Like I remember, again, it was my help desk days. I answered the phone. The person on the other end just said, I need to speak to someone else. And I was like, oh, I wonder why. He said, hey, can I just speak to an American?
Mm,
I knew I was one of the top performing analysts on the team. I knew a lot of solutions and I could have helped this person. But for them to say I need to speak to an American really discouraged me. And then, of course, I knew at that point that they didn't want to talk to me, not because I didn't know what I was talking about, but because they just heard my voice over the phone. They didn't see my face. They've never interacted with me. They don't know my day to day. They don't know anything about me other than his voice just sounded like I don't belong in America.
mm,
I did speak to my boss. I said, hey, this lady is on the phone. She wants to speak to an American. My boss, lucky enough for me, he stood for me. He said, you're going to help her, or if she doesn't want to be helped by you, she doesn't get help today. And she made a big deal out of that because she was, one of the high up people in finance, holding a position where if they couldn't do their job, there could be implications. And there were organizational discussions after that. I was happy that I was part of the discussions. At the same time, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't want the company coming on this person as an example for what racism is.
yeah.
Was in my mind, I kept saying maybe they couldn't understand me. Maybe my accent is too thick, and they just, are struggling to understand me. That's why they were asking for someone else. But at the same time, knowing that they didn't give it a chance to even listen, or even like we didn't spend it. I didn't say answer the phone. They asked to speak to someone else. So that showed me that they really didn't think that I could help, or they didn't believe that I was supposed to be the right person. And I think some of that stems from people believing that people like myself came to this country to take high-paying jobs, cybersecurity are high-paying jobs from hardworking Americans, and they're in a job that I'm sitting on right now. An American, even though I've now been an American citizen, could be sitting in that job. And there are certain people who still hold on to those values. And because of that, I find a lot of motivation in being very good at what I do. So if an employer hires me, I don't want to be the token Black employee. I just happen to be the only Black person in my team, but I don't want to check a box that says at least we're diverse because we have Howard on the team. I want them to hire me based on my merit. I don't want my boss to feel obligated, say, well, we really need to promote the only Black person around because, he has been here for 3 years. I want them to promote me because I'm actually contributing and adding value in a way that meets the standards of, say, a lead engineer, a principal engineer, or even a manager. I need to be judged on my merit. And I do that for two things. One, out of respect for myself. I never want to feel like I was handed something because of the way I look as a charity or donation. And number two, there's going to be another person who looks like me, maybe sounds like me. I don't want people to think, wow, years ago we had one from an African on our team, and this is what happened, and we want a full experience. I want to make it easier for people who will come after me to excel and really be given a fair chance. They might fail, but at least they're not being put in a box like what I experienced with, racism and people largely not liking us. So I would say, if anything, I really feed off the fact that there are people out there who, the moment I open my mouth, or the moment they see me, assume that I'm less than. And I would like to blow their minds off when I show up and I know what I'm talking about. Maybe that will help really open people's minds and realize they're wrong. But at the same time, I also understand that I owe it to myself to be the best I can and
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that even in this day and age, it's racism is still around. But if you think about it, it's like, it's not against the law to be racist. It's just
Yeah.
people don't understand. Like, we're here to contribute like everybody else. We're here to, keep America safe like everybody else, keep America productive. But
Mhm.
it's why do you have to come with that negative energy and that narrow mindset? You know, if somebody doesn't speak proper English, all you have to do is just listen a little bit harder. You'll understand what they're trying to say. So yeah.
To see the Black Youth Retreat, and I wanted to show up. We let that happen because we don't have a lot of Black corporations that will do white or European corporations. We don't have our own institutions because when you start having your own, I don't see this type of racism toward to the Spanish community. I don't see the type of racism going to the Asian, nor the Middle Eastern. We know that the Middle Eastern, aka people from India or Pakistan, they get respected more in the IT field than us.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, because they have their institution, they have their own setup. We need to build our own. When we don't have our own, we'll fight what they call a uphill battle type of pool. Our own self will be forced to be individual, not a collective no more. They know Marvin good at what you do. They know how you're good at what you do. They know me because what I do. But you know, as a collective, that we are very well efficient. Now, we talk about anyone from India, they'll look at India as the collective. They got great promising techs that can do the job. They believe them as a collective, not as an individual. But for us, we have to pull our work based on as an individual, not as a collective, until we have rival companies that can compete with the ACL, that can compete with Infosys, that they can bid for a contract. And we have people like us working on higher tier level positions. Until that change, it's not going to change. I've been on the multiple platforms trying to school people, but I've been observing in the unit for 20 years in the field. I've been in the country for almost 40 years, but not there yet. I'm 43. But what I was telling Marvin this thing, I told Marvin before in person, and when we were talking back and forth, what I observed in multiple places, there's like a ranking system based on ethnic group, who get the respect in certain field. Now, since 2009, it has been put out there that say Nigeria are the most educated community in the United States because they see it attract workers. Most Nigerians trying to get double degree or triple degree because of what their parents put them through because they knew you had to prove our work.
Mm-hmm.
However, from Zimbabwe, what if more people from Zimbabwe do the same exact thing as Nigeria were doing? Now, they'll be the next higher ethnic group that puts in the high level of education. Even though we're doing that institutions, but at the end of the day, they'll all look at us as Black. Then I go look at where country we come from.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
This is why, besides talking tech, when I be on other panels, we talk about other situations that do affect us as tech. I have to point out the obvious. Let's stop the nonsense. We'll be talking about the same issue for year in, year out for the next couple of years. What are you planning to do? At the tech, our job is to find solutions. So I'm asking you in the most technical way, what solution can we implement to make this thing started? Because people like to do this and run them out and complain. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to build.
Yeah.
You like the build power. Marvin here to build. We understand what is needed. Find like-minded people to come together and do something big. I told Marvin, if we can grow this to a channel, we have a team. Back there, we have a team. Lima Tech have a real big team. Gamma Next, both Lima Tech and Gamma Next got their building. They're growing. Said California, if we become a full time, he have a studio, because he had to get a building sooner or later. If we don't build our own, then what's going to happen now? We still have to continue to fight and continue to prove time after time after time again. I hope that the channel grow big, but one day you be hoping with Marvin. I might be somewhere interview somebody, or I might come over here. Then we have to collaborate, have to build something bigger. Then have to branch out, because when I mentioned Africa, how I know they're trying to build a Silicon Valley in Nigeria, but I'm kind of shocked they do it over $1 billion for the lab on that. Quick. That was too soon, too quick. Rwanda got their own too. So Africa is now the fastest growth economy in the continent whereby besides Nigeria, you have Kenya, you got Zimbabwe, you have other countries that now trying to rise up.
Yes.
When they do rise up, what's next? You know very well in Africa, they need the tool.
Exactly. And, I really like what, at least here in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, the Black community does not, I know we have said, Africans, and the Black community here in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis and St. Paul is very, very pro each other. So when I was still in college, I used to come to a summit for Black men once a year, and it's mostly African American men. And I was a very naive African. I just, I grew up in a homogeneous society. I never felt like I was being discriminated. And showing up to the summit where people were saying, okay, we need to connect with each other. We need to give each other connections, because what happens is, if you don't have connections, you might be good at what you do, but if you don't know people, it might take you longer to get where you want compared to somebody who knows people. And since we are now at a point where we are, realizing what we need this, it was called a Kente Summit. I haven't attended in a couple of years, but it happens every single year at a local university here for 100% Black men. They just show up. There's also Blacks in Tech. There's a chapter here where members meet every week. People have talks just to share experiences like what we're talking about here. Like, okay, how do we, in a tactful way, non-disruptive way, address these issues? Because it's easy to go and say, I'm really upset at how things are being done, then disrupt the company and the procedures, or even show up and communicate in a way where the point is still heard, but at the same time provide some direction and still maintain our dignity and integrity, so that we are not reactionary or fall into the stereotype of, oh, you're an angry Black man. Of course, you're mad. It's hard to have a discussion with you. But at the same time, the communities I've seen so far are really great, especially both in tech and just in general. People, especially the African American community in the United States, in various cities, has come up with a lot of tools and solutions and communities to actually address some of these. And the one thing that I found out is that I underutilize them. I don't contribute enough. And if people used what we already have and also contributed in a meaningful way to those initiatives, we'll make a lot of we'll make a lot of progress. And also with your this what you are doing with the podcast, it's a different type of exposure, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing a very, very unique tool that is not out there, where you're giving a platform for people to speak about their experiences, share their experiences, learn from each other, but also inspire future generations when they see both of you having been in the industry for 20 years. They're like, so they actually spent 20 years in IT, and he's still doing hardware. He's actually still geeking over hardware stuff after all those years. Another person is like, well, I really like that stuff, and I think that's very important. And it's, as long as people like myself take what you're doing and really value it, and also contribute, but also help spread the word and participate in any meaningful way, I think that's very helpful for us. And that's why I'm very grateful that you even, called me to come in.
Like, chat with one guy on the YouTube street, his name is Anton Daniel. He's another Black YouTuber who also as software engineer, but he does stuff, man. He said something that very specific, that it also hit on. Do not be a jack of all trades. And act what you're good at and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned that because at first I had to question myself, should I be a jack of all trades or just be good at something and build from that? Because you may find people, you can.
Exactly. Like, I can tell, like, both of you do have the business mindset, and you also have the professional experience to back it up. And that's the plan. I told Marvin before the quarter started, I was like, hey, if I ever mention the MSP world, in the future, I'll probably want to come back and tap you on MSC.
He's in that world.
Exactly.
I tried getting that world years ago, but the thing is, the problem is kind of better come ground about word of mouth in New York City. It's more than a talent, because it depends on what neighborhood you are in. If you're in the right neighborhood, you can succeed. But when you're in the wrong neighborhood and people don't want to pay for the service, what I watch people go to Best Buy and pay 3 times what you offer, it's not so weird. Maybe because I don't have nothing to show what I can really do. So, like Marvin said, the YouTube is a great tool to showcase what you can
Exactly.
you have done and then some. The LinkedIn profile, I'll be telling people, make sure your LinkedIn profile mirror your resume.
Exactly. I know a few people who have succeeded. I've been lucky to talk to a few. I don't know if you've seen. There's a gentleman called Willie Howe.
Really, how?
Yeah, just Willie, then Howe, Howe. Willie Howe runs an MSP. Another one is Lawrence Systems. Lawrence Systems is very successful, actually.
For the Lawrence Systems, yes.
Lawrence Systems, and the one thing that I saw, I've been following them, is not only do they showcase, like, if there's an update to the hardware that they're passionate about, like Ubiquity or unified devices, they will go and test the hardware and show the customers, hey, I tried it in my lab environment. This is what it looks like. Then they generate a lot of leads. It's like a lead generation tool, but also it's a way to build a community. So people like myself, I follow them all. I've been following them for the past 3-4 years, even since I was a sysadmin. If I ever were in a lot of trouble and I need to hire an MSP, I'll be calling Lawrence System, because I know they've been talking about Unify for 5 years straight in a row. They know Unify in and out because they've been deploying it to their customers. And they've been sharing some of these stories as well. And that's why I think
Yeah, I follow Lawrence Systems. Is because of him that I'm into the PFSense firewall. I think it's a dope firewall. Yeah, I use it. So he's really good. But again, it's like when me and Elia talks about, we're coming from the corporate side, so we've seen this. I like his stuff. I do follow him, but again, yeah. So which is, he's in my field also. I don't really look at him as a competitor, because I'm trying to move businesses into the cloud. He's trying to keep on-premise solution, which is cool. That's nothing wrong with that. But in the long run, we kind of see who actually wins the race or whatever. But I like Lawrence. I like what he does. I got the PFSense firewall because of him, his videos on it. So yeah, he's dope.
Yeah.
Marvin said we from the professional platform, we come from the corporate realm. We understand what the corporate realm is utilizing to protect their business. Now, these guys who never have that deep into the corporate realm are doing things what they know and fully understand. Now, we did have a theory about small business, what is best for a customer, easy or not. But I also work it out to Marvin. It always falls down to the budget, to what they can afford. Some people can afford to spend money on the cloud, some people can afford to have it on the premises, but I fully understand. But at the same token, when we talk about in a country that have a failing infrastructure, that will leave the massive question mark right above your head. The choice you choose. When they need to upgrade their failing infrastructure, will you be affected by it or not? Where your choice that you made will save you a lot of headache going forward when they start to upgrade and something happen, or would it not? These are the things that as professionals, we understand, we see, we observe it, we know what's going on. It's all about what setup will fit best for every individual, either small, medium, or large corporation. When you want to give that estimate or give them that view, we have to be objective and let them make their choices. Because what Marvin said is totally correct. You come to corporate realm, we see way more than people who work on the mom and pop store that had for a while and they got to go through social media. Now, yet you can go through social media and start helping other upcoming small businesses. But people coming from the corporate realm have a much deeper insight and can let people know what you can try. I told Marvin I had a chance to do exactly what you were doing, but for my sabotage. And then every time we were working together at UBS, Rapidity, they're looking for someone to pick up their one location in Flatbush Avenue, which got water damage. And what I was trying to do is try to get them up and running first before we start throwing out too many different ideas and not familiar with. One guy just went behind me and sabotaged it because the person who got me the business was an employee, but I used to work on her machine as well in the past. But she trusted me for this. If I had more people I could rely on, let's say I'll call Marvin up the other guy, maybe I could kill that business at that time. I wish I did. Because Rapid was on the fastest growing real estate company at that time when we worked together.
Yeah, in New York City.
And the thing is, it's like you said, Howard, collaborate with the right people to build something up. No.
Exactly.
It's hard now as we are Black people to find the right person who has the same mindset, because not everybody thinks the same. I feel are popular with people who only do it for the money, but not there for the impact. When we have the impact, the money will come anyway, but it will come in more than what's the effect. Because you know why? You build the trust, you build a reliability, you build a reputation. People can, you know what? You got to work with people. They know what the hell they offer, know what the hell they're doing. Think I say about all these tech YouTubers that they're able to go to these big corporations, manufacturers, like, and see how things get done. Because then they have been objective on their stuff and their product and their equipment to the point where they had to take their word for it. So they didn't invest, but they had to face it with that. I told Marvin, if we roll this channel, we get to a point where we have more ways to do testing. I love to test the hardware based on certain setup. You like to test on the application. I do it together. The other tech YouTubers are doing the same exact thing. They build a reputation where they're highly trusted and the word matter. Howard, you will be something big very soon than you think. People will have to come to you and take your expert opinion because you showcased it on your YouTube channel. There's no excuse. Don't say, you know what? He knows what he's talking about. We've seen it in video. He's on point. He knows that needs to be done. So guess what? You might have to pick up a way how to protect our company and our business and our finance, right? Same apply to Marvin, the same exact way. This is why we're doing this channel for that specific reason, but something much bigger than what it is. You want to make money, but it's something long lasting. I'm not trying here to quickly build it just to make fast. I'm not here for that. I'm here for longevity. So that I'm talking about starting doing my son now start studying. I want him to join me. Okay, he'll be my helper in my channel. He might produce, who knows? You might do the same thing with your children. I know I don't have kids right on
Got to put it up first, man. Kids are expensive.
Oh yeah.
But you get what I'm.
Yeah.
I take very serious. Because I'm open for future collaboration down the line whereby we all working together. We add another one coming in and we're doing stuff to think about. Hope God bless us. We have a big studio and we start working together. We start doing more content, showing what we can do, showing stuff that we observe and try to do the test ourselves and see what if we would have done it this way. Would they have same money this way? What if we have done it that way? It would be new simulation. Let people see for themselves and from there that they know what. These are the real experts that not only they're in the field, but they're also showcasing their talent and they're teaching things that never been taught in classes.
Oh yeah, that I like but it's not something that you can take from a college university. It's real life, real simulations, things that are up to date, not just like legacy stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna close out after these two questions. So tell me about an iconic moment in your work history, and tell me about the most humbling experience you've experienced in your work history.
Yeah, for me right now, I would say the most iconic is passing the OSCP exam. It's a 24-hour hands-on exam. I found that I have a lot of IT certifications, but that one was the most fulfilling certification because it wasn't multiple choice. I couldn't guess. I had to really find a way to break into systems, and also I had to write a very professional report to submit for grading. And I think that's the moment when I realized that maybe actually I know some stuff. I always had this idea. Maybe I'm just still learning. Maybe I'm just in the infancy of my career, but being able to pull that exam off and also getting the recognition from my peers at work and everyone saying, hey, if you pass that certification, you know a thing or two and you can actually speak with confidence on certain things. That was really helpful. The most humbling experience also has been just moving into cybersecurity and working with people who have been in the industry for a while. One thing that I really learned is that, which is something that I hold dear to, is people who have been in the industry for a long time. They've seen things, they've experienced things. And when you are playing a team and you're working with people who have worked for a long time, some of them are very humble. You never know that they know a lot of things. And, younger people like ourselves who might show up with egos thinking, hey, I know things too. But working with people with a lot of experience is very humbling. You realize that you have a long way to learn. You also learn that it's not a race. You just have to be consistent in your learning. As long as you don't stagnate and you are always motivated to learn, with time, things get better and you know things. So I've been empowered by working with very experienced people, learning from them, listening from them, and showing them what I know. I also knowing that with a lot of experience and time in the industry, regardless of which industry, people know things, and there's something to be said about that, which is very nice for people who are new to any industry.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I always tell my mentees that, when you show up to work, you might know certain things that people don't know, but if you can be very humble and exercise a lot of humility in knowing that people that have been in that company have a lot to teach you that you might not know, even though you might know one or two newer technologies or things that they might not be exposed to. So
that's good. That's good. So we're gonna allow you. Got any questions, or you good?
Based on your fan base, that's like not a plateau. It's a level that open your eye to what you can do, what you can go further. But you need to understand hard work and consistency do pay off.
Yeah.
When you mention working with people who have a lot of experience, who are very humble, Marvin and I would tell you, we have them that we found the wisdom at UBS. Who graduated at that peak with a heart that literally died. That's like throughout the BD. He found a way to not only take apart the hard drive, got it up and running and able to back the data. Like you don't see that on an everyday thing. Like, how will you do such a thing? You must have known, so I think, no, I'm going to be around this guy.
Yeah.
Take this brain. I mean, all this dollars, because I walk away from not getting more than enough. Because when you find people like that, not only motivate you, it inspire you, and keep you on your toes. I remember Marvin would tell you, he picked on me a lot. That guy, maybe gay, bro. He always loved to pick on me. He's a Latino, but he did it for a good reason because he saw that I would kind of catch up and he thought, oh, they're going to keep over me. I'm going to pick on you. And every time he pick on me, Marvin would be laughing, other people would be laughing. He would be testing me, and I try to get on my head. He was like, man, you too slow. I'm like, but. No, not fast enough. I'm like, oh, whatever. I will get better. But what he does, he helped me to be a better tech in the long run. Because what you was doing, you saw that I want to learn. When you find people who have way more experience than you, and you under them, and you try to learn everything. Now, on this, they show you the respect. They see the hunger in you. They know what? I want to have you under my wing. I want to make sure you're a better tech than you are before.
Exactly.
So that when I'm not around, you take over my spot and you about to supersede me, I want them to know that I taught you and I trained to make you better.
Yes.
And that is needed. Because you're right, there's some people who don't have much experience, they come around looking like, and me and Marvin, you didn't have that funny thing, we just look at them, we try to make it a bet. How long would it take for him to crash?
Yeah. Right.
And they said, I would say, maybe I give him 3 months. Marvin, give him 3 months. Give him 1 month. You will put the pressure on it. Let's give him a little leeway. I said, let's give him 3 months. I want 3 months time because when he realized how bad it is, that he will bring himself down to earth and start acting, like he knows everything. But nobody knows everything.
No.
We see this environment time and time. When you had the best team where everybody know how to work well with each other, you don't have to say much. You get that I think that everybody pick on what to do and just make the job easy and more fun to be around.
Exactly.
I mean, we're all trying to look for that right environment where we feel comfortable. You don't have to be lazy, but keep on your P's and Q's and you're always learning new things as you go. Sometimes you gotta be a little competitive. Sometimes, and I'll tell you, I'm more than competitive. I test my team.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with good competition, man.
Exactly. I make sure my team was the best team, and I would tell you, how many times my team be winning the competition, and I be asking how don't worry about what I do. That's good. I'll focus on mine. But I make sure my team are effective and efficient. That is two key factor. One, you got to be effective. One, you got to be efficient. You're not efficient. You don't think fast on the beat, it'll be a problem. Because we in the field, though, we have to be fast on our beat. There's no time to wait. Every time, every minute, every second, it costs the company money. And then looking at you and see how quick you resolve the problem quickly and keep it up and running. You're not a security expert, you know that very well. That's what they take like 24 hours. The first time me hearing it, I'm like, damn, how much Starbucks do you drink? My Red Bull we're taking in. Like, you have to be
On Red Bull, yeah. It was really, yeah. You see, yeah.
That's not a joke. Their position, people have to stay 12 hours straight, monitor the system. When something happen, you have to be on your P's on Q. So we get that, we understand that, but it all leads to the burnout part. We did a series about, and we had a nurse, I call her a big sister, her name is Candy, and she the real registered nurse, and she got on me bad because Marvin and my other guy, Peter, blew my spot and said what I was doing was not the right thing to do. But I'm a workhorse. What am I to do? I believe in putting my best foot forward, sometimes go too far, but we learn our mistakes and learn how to be effective and fiction, not kill ourselves too much, but do things in a way that it's less stressful, but more effective and fiction as well. Some items of experience, but that experience not only teach you, you can take that experience and pass it on to the next generation, hoping that they don't have to go through what we have to go through.
Yep.
But they can learn from them. When it comes to training people, that's easy. I don't know why, but it's easy. Marvin would tell you, oh, you need to go back on training. Then I was like, train who? They got free lead techs. Yeah, but they need you. What? I'm not that special. They know you go down. Marvin would tell you, he called my phone and blow my phone. Said, what time over? We're like, I know you don't like that, Alaya, but you might have to go back. Go back where? I thought everybody would stay away with me, but Marvin understand my experience and my level. He understands I'm needed for a particular position to make sure this is done properly. And I respect him for that. But you know why? He knows who to call and who not to call. No, I'm trying to dodge all the phone calls just for the sake of you leave me alone. Let me be in my own little zone. But I get it when people reach out. When they reach out to you, Howard, they say, Howard, we need you. Something might be in the mood. They'll be like, no, I'm not in the mood. But they need you because of your experience and your knowledge. Mama get blown up. I can tell Mama get blown in his company. He don't like to get knowledge sometimes. He had a look whereby I'm done. I'm tired. I want to take a mental break. Leave me alone. But they will bug him. Sometimes they might bribe him.
Extra cash here, Marvin.
They're like, I'll buy you dinner on me. And you know, Marvin, people like, I'm not that cheap, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because they have that respect of your experience and your expertise. We need more of us out there so that not only we take this knowledge and experience we have and can pass to the next generation, but not only they can be better, but we better technicians.
Exactly. Leaving that door open for the next generation, man. So that's what it comes down to.
Yes. It's a great conversation. I'm enjoying every bit of it because it allowed me to see people with you, Howard, you are needed. Bobby.
No, I think both of you on the platform that you have is definitely needed, especially that you approach the IT career with an objective mind and calling it what it is. I think that admitting that there are areas where people need improvement is important because certain podcasts, certain people that we meet out there, they will show up and they will create this perfect rosy world, which is like, hey, everything is good. Let's talk about the happy stuff. You are happy to talk about, the challenges that people might have faced or the happy moments. And that objective approach to this is definitely something that I think is going to draw a lot of crowds to come and want to be part of the discussions. And those comment sections as well, you will notice people talking there, asking more questions, wanting to be part of the discussions because you're opening up things that people really feel uncomfortable talking about. Was it might not result in YouTube monetizing too much, but it results in people's lives, being saved and people actually getting help and at least people's minds being opened if they're on the other side of the same discussions.
I'm glad. Okay. Your channel is more needed.
Yeah, because I saw your stuff and I was like, yo, I wanna interview him and just want to talk to him, get him into our little network of people. So
yeah, the funny I think about a month ago I spoke to another gentleman who's called Technology. He's another YouTuber. He does more on automation and infrastructure stuff. And I was part of his live series. And one of the things that the people that he also included on his 100,000 subscriber video is the bit of consistency. I think we've mentioned this one earlier. Yeah, because one thing that most of my students from University of Minnesota or even just from YouTube is people want this now. It's almost like there's a lack of respect for the craft and how long it takes to get there. And knowing that as long as you're consistent and you remain focused with a mentor, like you mentioned earlier, someone who you can bounce ideas off, make sure that you're still going in the right path, you'll get better. It might not be tomorrow, but as long as you remain consistent. The worst thing that I wish I did once is just jump in and try to learn it all, then get burnt out in a month and never learn it at all. That's what channels and also just platforms like yours and my channel and everybody else give people a consistent dose of knowledge every week or every month. That way we keep going, which is
All right, Howard, it was a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you for coming on the podcast. And definitely we're gonna collaborate, do some work together, and I'll email you.
Thank you very much, both of you. And I'm really looking to a platform growing. And if there's anything I can do to be part of the discussions, because I think what you are doing is awesome, and I'm definitely going to.
No, it was a pleasure having you, man. Thank you. Definitely keep up the good work. Keep going after those trolls on Twitter. And and I see we've got.
You need a
actually, I was going to say, once in a while, I don't have a big YouTube channel. There's 32,000 people on my channel, but one of these series that I might have is I really, if possible,